Hey team, how we doing? This is Coach Dana Cavalea checking in with you here. And I do a lot of talking about preparation and routines and the importance of preparation and routines and how those routines lead you to success over time. And I think we forget that our consistency, and within our consistency lies our success, provided that our routines are good and they are fitting for us. And a few weeks ago, I was speaking with a company in New York City, and I was talking about the power of habit, the power of routines, and the importance of consistency in those habits and in those routines. And there was somebody speaking to me, and she said, I understand what you're saying, but I think those routines can also be bad. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. They can be bad. But it's up to us as individuals to constantly be assessing and analyzing what's working for us and what is not working for us. But I think in doing that, we have to give things enough time to work. It's like you saying, hey, you know what? I want to lose 10 pounds and I'm going to go on this diet, but I'm only going to do it for 3 days. I'm only going to do it for 5 days. You're not going to see the results in 3 to 5 days as opposed to 3 to 5 weeks or 3 to 5 months. So as we're developing our routines and our habits, it's really important for us to give things enough time to work and not to totally revamp everything. See, I believe in revamping 5 to 10% of your routine for testing. So we have these big blocks of that we can develop as our routine. Whether it's this is my morning routine, this is my midday routine, and this is my evening routine. Let's assemble those, okay? But then we also say, well, what's serving us and what's not serving us? So let's use 10% of each of those routines and try new things and test new things. I just get a little bit nervous when people, they may buy a new book and the book contradicts their routine that works for them. But when you go through a professional sports clubhouse, right, you have 25 players or 40 players, and they all have their own unique routine. It's about what works for you, and what works for me may not work for you. So it's about helping you to develop a routine that works for you. And what I found is your most routine individuals and your most consistent individuals had your most consistent performances. They had the most consistent performances. And that's really the power of routine at its finest. So we're not just saying you got to be routine because you got to have a routine. You have to have a routine in order to create consistent performance. And that's the goal and that's the objective and that's what we're trying to create for you. So what I invite you to do is take some time and think about what's working for you and what's not working for you. And those things that are not working for you, let's cut them out and let's replace them with something that may serve you better. And I'll give you just one more example from my talk. But there was a young lady that asked me, hey, is this true? I said, what? What do you want to know? And she said, I was reading a book and it said if I'm not up before 5, I'm a loser. I said, well, listen, that's certainly not true. Because nobody's a loser based on what time they wake up. But she read in a book that said if you're not up before 5 a.m., your chances for success go way down. And I said, I will give you a list of multimillionaires and billionaires that I work with that wake up after 7. So just to immediately erase that thought process in her mind. But what I wanted her to really think about was this next question. I said, are you a morning person or are you a night person? And she said, I'm a night person. I said, well, what time do you go to bed? And she says, I go to bed between 11 and midnight. I said, so let's say, hypothetically, you went to bed at midnight. You would get 5 hours of sleep. Now, if you got 5 hours of sleep, how would you feel the next day? You're a night person, and night people typically don't feel good in the morning when they wake up early. She said, I'd feel terrible. I said, well, what if you did that for 5 days? She said, I'd really feel terrible. And what if you did it for 5 weeks and 5 months? She'd feel even worse. I said, so it's really important for you to understand who you are before you start just adopting things that may not make sense for your routine. If you're not a morning person, that's oftentimes within you. but you're going to perform better later. So somebody like you, let's just say you're in the business world, your most intensive meetings you should try to set up later in the day, after lunch or right before lunch, so you can wake up, you can get into your routine a little bit more. But it's important to test your routines. It's important to know what works for you. And that starts with knowing who you really are and what you're all about and what makes you tick, and not changing that because somebody else says you need to change that. Know yourself, know thyself. And by doing so, the world is going to open up for you, because you're going to know exactly what you want, and you're going to know exactly what you need, and you're going to be on your way. So, this is Coach Dana Cavalea. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Check out danacavalia.com, get on the blog. We have some great coaching programs, and we try to keep it as real as possible. It's all about you and coaching you to your next step in life. This is Coach Dana Cavalea. I'll see you later. Bye.